What's up, gang, and welcome back to another episode of Inspire By, a series where we look at the musical trends past and present to understand the techniques used so that you guys can make better music. My name's Will, and I'm making an assortment of music under the moniker Hush Child. Yes, you read the title correctly, and let me show you why.
No copy. Right strikes.
Put your head on my shoulder. It's victory!
So whether it's someone punching their screen at the start of a video or a clever caption, TikTok has the ability to keep us intrigued and engaged. And with this, it's bringing a musical influence as well. I think one of the key players of this trend is the producer Kato. Check out his viral song So Pretty with Rihanna Maria as a reference. But you might be thinking, well, how does that make me think about my music differently? Let's jump into it. As always, I'm pleased to announce that this episode is sponsored by DistroKid. Do stick around for a few words in how you can better release your music on all the major platforms. So in the intro to this video, I gave a preview of this track, and despite its slightly clickbait title, I do mean it. TikTok is making me think about music differently. And this channel is all about looking at the musical trends, not only past, but present as well. And we're hearing a lot more beats like this, something with a snappy, short introduction to the song and then straight into the vocal content. The beats have a lot of space in their mix, but there's also a lot of individual elements going on. So this video will be more of a lesson on arrangement techniques than any mixing techniques. Let's have a listen to it again. Going to pause it there. So a lot of the songs that I heard on TikTok that are attached to trends have a short, snappy intro. This could be the Bus It challenge, or it could be Kato's track. It's going to be a track that aids the performer, the TikToker, to interact with the screen and the viewers. Yeah, whether that be slamming the screen or having some text across the screen. It allows for a little bit of time to grab your attention. And I always think of the introduction to these TikToks is like a coming up. You know, when you watch your favorite season of a show, you look at a new episode and it says coming up and previously on. This is what we're getting with these songs.
Sweet Jan.
And it also shares a lot of similarities with the Pharrell tracks of old as well. Pharrell often starting his songs with a 4-count beat too. But what's interesting about the introductions to these songs is they're not starting with just a hi-hat or drumstick clicks. That's not going to pull the listener in. So we're starting with the biggest, loudest thing, the 808, super distorted, normally with a little preview of the melody as well with some drums thrown in. So we're going from a bigger section, then we can drop it back down. The arrangement throws you into the biggest part of the song with the 808s, the melodies, the drums all playing at once, and allows you to build up a track. So we introduce more elements, then drop it back down. A traditional track would normally have its introduction in this section where everything's a little bit quieter, allowing you to establish yourself amongst the mix. But we've kind of inverted that. And then when we go back to our second drop or our main drop, this is where we've added a little bit more energy. So let me walk you through this. I've started with some lovely Murder 808s here. And these have just a little bit more of a transient master on, but they're not really EQ'd or saturated because I wanted this one to draw the most attention. I've applied some sunny hi-hats here to just sit under those stabs. There's no kicks in this mix. And the main melody that you're going to hear actually comes from these Uzi cowbells. The thing that I really enjoyed about these Uzi cowbells is there's a slight click at the end. So you're getting a bop, 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 bop. And I kind of use that as a replacement to my hi-hat. I'm going to draw your attention straight away to the title of this video. TikTok is making me a better producer. Well, the reason for this is because this was my original melody. I already had the arrangement in mind that we would have these big 808 downbeats, and this is what my melody sounded like. Let's play that with the beat. And it's fine, it serves its purpose, but it doesn't really have the energy. When I play it with the Uzi cowbell, it almost sounds like a quicker beat. Now the reason for this is we've got this Hatton playing on the cowbell. It was more of a dull sample when I first heard it. Sounded like this. Quite dry. So I added some OTT EQ8. Little Valhalla plate there. The Haas effect made sure that it was wide because I knew that I was going to put another melody underneath it. The RC20 kind of gave it some character. My second RC20 here allowed me to control the filters of that instrument as well, as we've seen in previous videos. And just a sidechain compression there so that anytime my 808 played, it was kind of ducking the instrument. Underneath this, I added a second cowbell, and this is sitting centrally, but it isn't as bright as the previous cowbell we've heard. So I just wanted it to be kind of a secondary melody, but also kind of a rhythmic pattern that would sit underneath. Always playing the same pitch. And I've kind of taken it off grid as well. It's sitting slightly ajar, slightly off the main melody that we can hear to give it more humanization, but again, take it away from that main melody. And I think I actually got rid of this little pitched one that I had with transposition. So all I did there, as you've seen in previous videos, double click the sample and then go to clip and then transposition and then just pitch that down. The thing that was great about this beat was that I made it really busy in the beginning, but then ended up taking away a lot of elements to give it more space if a vocalist wanted to sit over the top of it. So this is what we have at the beginning. My drums are super simple. So no kick drum, 2 pitch snares. We've got an open hi-hat layer as I mentioned before, but it also doubles as a riser. So just pitching that down a few semitones. I've got some percussion dotted around, and that's to just kind of fill the blank spaces of the track and add some ear candy and excitement. So again, if I play this percussion layer from the beginning, this is what we get. And then immediately at the 8-second mark, don't forget TikToks are between sort of 15 seconds and a minute long. So everything has to happen much more quickly than it would in, a traditional radio edit of a song. So within the 8-second mark, I'm bringing in these resampled hats. There's lots of movement in there, lots of different samples, and it's sitting slightly off the grid. By the 12-13 second mark, we're already switching up the song again. You know something's going to happen here because we've got this hit marker. And we've got this build up of the riser here. Sober riser from Splice element I use all the time, along with this ETC effects crash. Just a great alternative to using that same Lex symbol that we hear time and time again. And the only MIDI layer that I have in this track is a little riser that I made from the Wavetable plugin. And I'm just mapping envelope 2 and envelope 3 here to create our risers, coupled with the white noise. This is an element where, again, our vocalist can continue to go before the second drop. This might all be within the first verse. All that I've done with the Uzi bell is use this second RC20 element to start drawing in some filters. So I've increased the magnitude as we go through, and with the second RC20, we're turning the device on and increasing the filter. So you can hear kind of the bit crush effect come in, the filters taking effect, and we're adding some reverb as well. Apart from that, there's not much else going on. As we come out of this drop, I've just added little vocal chop elements like this DJ scratch halfway through, this pitched down lax vocal, and then the pitched up version here. And again, just adding a few new elements to that track. Just kind of surprises the listener, gives them something else to draw their attention to. And then the only thing that's different when we go back into our second drop of the track are these reverse 808s and then this offbeat 808 that sits really low here. I just wanted to kind of change the rhythm up a little bit. It's a very different track to the hip hop and the stuff that I would normally make. I'm just really enjoying trying out new musical techniques, keeping up with the trends in music, and just growing as a producer. I hope you found this helpful, guys, but just before we close out this episode, I want to give you a little bit of information about our sponsor, because I think this will really help you guys out too. If you're making music on Instagram or TikTok, you should really be putting it out for the world to enjoy as well. DistroKid makes it so easy for you to put your music out on all the major platforms. This includes Apple Music, Amazon, and Spotify, and includes social medias like Instagram and TikTok. And everything nowadays is about the visuals, and with Visi, you can very quickly make animated videos that are synced to your beat that you can quickly upload to TikTok, Instagram, and wherever else you're seen online. If you want to start releasing your music, make sure that you use the link in the description below because you'll get a discount. So there we have it, guys. What do you guys think about the way that music is evolving? Are you all for it? Are you against it? Do let me know in the comments below because I'd love to have that conversation. As always, my social medias, including my TikTok, are in the description below, as well as anything else that I've mentioned in this video or previous. And you might have seen this week, I mentioned on Instagram how you guys can get involved in some content, and that is also in the description below. Make sure you're following and subscribed for more episodes. And as always, I thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.